You know, I really think the GameCube was the best system ever made. I was born in 2002, and my first waking memory of playing video games was on the Cube when I was 2 years old, cause I was a gamer baby. Yeah, that's right, I was gaming months after I exited the womb.
I bet you wish you were as much of a gamer as me, ninja.
Now, that first memory was specifically playing Super Smash Bros. Melee, but I wasn't actually playing the games, no. Instead, I just pressed a bunch of buttons and somehow managed to delete the save file my brothers had been working on. Of all the things I could have possibly done. And apart from the Game Boy Advance, PS1, Bing Bong Ding Dong 3000, and the PS3, the GameCube was the main system I grew up on, and to this day, I still think it's one of, if not the best video game system ever made. And the first reason? The design. Fucking cube! The design of the GameCube is, in my humble, cool, and objectively correct opinion, the best console design ever! Compared to every other console, it's gotta be my favorite, or even the one I like the most. This console? Big. This console? Ugly. This console? Weird. Yeah, I think I need to cleanse my palate, so let's take a look at this gorgeous, squeezable lunchbox and analyze how Nintendo perfected console design with the GameCube. Right away, the first thing you notice is the sizing. This thing is pretty darn small, and it's not even trying to compensate, because this thing is just as satisfying to play with as the big ones. Compared to most other consoles, it's definitely on the slimmer side. The only other consoles that compete are the Wii, PS2 Slim, and PS1 Slim.
Oh, fuck! No, I broke it!
And what other console is as iconic as the GameCube? It's got the shape in its name, for God's sake. When you boot it up, it's a cube that forms a big cube in the shape of a G. You can't make that up. Now, moving away from the design, let's take a look at them graphics, though. Let's look at the N64, the first 3D console from Nintendo. To be expected, it doesn't look very good. Looks, pretty bad, actually. I mean, come on, we can't dance around it, okay? The frame rate was terrible, the quality was also terrible, and in general, it was just a clunky mess to control. It was awful! The games were good though. And just a few short years later with the GameCube, that gave Luigi an ass in full 4K HD. Character models and objects look way smoother. The lighting effects are unbelievably good for 2001. The particle effects, stuff like fire, dust, water, they all look insanely high quality. And not to mention, almost all of the first-party games ran at a buttery smooth 60 FPS.
That's smooth.
It even looks pretty good on a flat screen modern TV, and before you comment, yes, I know you're supposed to play these on a huge, ugly, old CRT, you nerd, but for being over 20 years old and looking this good still on technology that didn't even exist back then, that's impressive. Now, the PS2 and Xbox also had really good graphics compared to the consoles of ancient history. I really like the fuzzy, almost dreamy look of the PS2. It's a really distinct style, and I really hope that makes sense. Generally, this era was always my favorite because it was right before they really tried making everything ultra realistic, because instead they were focused on polishing up the clunkiness. The N64, Sega Saturn, and PS1 really tried their best with 3D, and I'm so proud of them. But this stuff was brand new, and it all just feels weird. Maybe my bias exists because I grew up with more modern consoles like the GameCube and PS3, but I still had plenty of experience with the PS1, and even then, the original attempts at 3D gaming just feel archaic and almost primitive to me. Primitive. Oh, my ancestors. They're calling! Ah! Oh. Monkeys, let's go! Yeah. Booga booga, can't you see? It's primitive technology. Whoa. Lots of pixels, you can see the polygons, just don't come cheap. The origin of what you see is from the rocks and grass and trees. But don't be cursed with animosity, the primitive world is where to be. If you're scared of what you've seen, just remember, return a monkey. Now, the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox were different because they were trying to polish up what the graphics already were, instead of trying to, push for these ultra-realistic 4K environments. They were just trying to look good, but not perfect. And because of that, there's just something so unbelievably charming about this console generation as a whole. But out of all three, why do I seem to prefer the GameCube? Well, it comes down to three things: the games, the controller, in my opinion. Now, the actual games are the most important aspect of any video game system, and I believe that the GameCube had some of the best first-party support we've ever seen in a video game system. And on top of that, they were some of the best quality titles in their respective franchises, if not the best. We're gonna go through the highlights in rapid fire mode. Now, these won't be in-depth reviews because I don't have all day, and I also admittedly have not played all of these games all the way through, but maybe I could do individual videos if that's what you want. Let's start with the plumber. So this is the second 3D Mario game in the franchise, and it's hot off the heels of Super Mario 64, a revolutionary platformer. They had Super Mario 64 as a blueprint to build upon and improve with Mario Sunshine, and it was okay. Okay, if it's any consolation, yes, this is one of the weaker 3D Mario games, okay? I can admit that, okay? I won't let my nostalgia blind me, but this game has a fantastic atmosphere that I do feel is better than Mario 64 in a lot of ways, and it also improved so many of the core mechanics. First off, the difference in movement with this controller compared to this controller is night and day. It's not even comparable. And in-game, the movement itself feels so much smoother and controllable in Sunshine. Now, my next point isn't really a disadvantage for Super Mario 64 because they were pioneering the 3D platformer genre with it, but comparing it to Sunshine, there's not really a consistent theme here. Now, it does have so many levels to explore, and they are all great, don't get me wrong, but they have nothing in common. They're just like,
Hey, what's up? You want to go inside of a clock? For some reason.
It's not really something I would expect to see in a Mario game nowadays. Again, I'm just gonna say it one more time before I get a bunch of boomers mad at me. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it was the first of its kind. Super Mario Sunshine excels in creating a well-rounded theme with a consistent main hub to tie into the individual levels. Now, for some reason, they picked a beachy tropical theme. I'm not really sure why. Just give them some sunglasses and call it a day, I guess. But it took Mario 64's idea and built upon it in a way that I believe was way more creative and intricate. Then again, I have no idea what these levels are, but that's beside the point. Mario's little squirt machine was a neat mechanic, and I am glad that they tried it. Even if you hated it, it was something new, similar to Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, I know that took some time, and there's so many more GameCube games to cover, okay? There's so many of them. I gotta go fast in order to get through this plethora of games before me. And those are just the first party games, okay? There's so many more third party games, but those come in multiple boxes, so I don't really care too much. I'm focused on cube only games. Oh my god, it's Luigi's mortgage. Discover property taxes and taxes in general, home maintenance, and the perils of squatting in this unique adventure featuring Green Mario himself. This is my favorite game of all time. The atmosphere. Oh, the graphics. Oh, the gameplay. Oh, the presentation. Oh, I love every single bit of this game, and if you don't, I will find you. God damn it, no! I will make sure you have a great day. Seriously though, what a brilliant idea for a game. And this preceded Mario Sunshine, so to me, this feels like the definitive Mario game. And you gotta applaud the risky choice. It was ambitious and something new. It's also really good. It controls great, the soundtrack and characters, and even the entire freaking mansion are all so memorable. And if you haven't given it a shot, I highly recommend. Mario's Birthday Party. The N64 started Mario Party, it did a great job, and then the GameCube perfected it. There are 4 Mario Party games for the GameCube, and I only have one because... Do you think I'm making bank, man? Look at me.
I lied to you. I now have all 4 of them.
But seriously, the GameCube Mario parties are all phenomenal quality. Now, I'm sure the N64 ones are equally amazing, but I just haven't been able to give it a fair chance because, shockingly, my friends don't care. But if they're anything like the ones on the GameCube, then they're probably also amazing. I'm just more surprised that the GameCube somehow managed to follow up a threequel of amazing Mario Party games with 4 more amazing ones. I mean, I would have expected a decline in quality, but they somehow kept getting better? What the fuck? Now, how about some of those Mario sports games? Now, I don't own these physically, mainly because, you know, but I've only heard good things, so I gave them a try for this video using completely legitimate methods. And tell me why I'm attracted to these games. Mario Tennis. This one is amazing. I normally don't watch tennis because I am a chimp. I simply don't care much for sports in general, so I think it says a lot that I would actually go back and play Mario Tennis because it was just that fun. And it's not so much the game itself as much as it is the pacing and energy behind it. You're smacking the ball, the adrenaline rushes as you try to dash towards it, the colors and the bright lights, they get your heart racing, man, and soon you forget that you're playing tennis. You know, that game where they use a big non-functional spoon to hit a ball over string back and forth. Giant ping pong. The energy truly makes this a much more enjoyable experience than any other tennis game I can think of, which is none, because I don't play tennis games. Mario Golf. This one is tricky. I'm not a huge fan of golf by any stretch of the imagination, even though I do have perfect form, and anyone that says otherwise is stupid.
We're gonna cut that one.
But Mario Golf is so much better than real life golf, in the same way that Mario Tennis is much better than tennis. Not only do I get to play as a chimpanzee, which game of the millennia, but I have the encouragement to not fail, because when I do fail, he makes disappointed and sad chimp noises. And I didn't think I could feel this much pain from a video game, but that does it. I can't do this. I'm sorry, Chimpy. Once you hit the ball even a few times, you pick it up right away and you learn how to hit the ball right. This is my first hit, and this is the last one. Just ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. I don't even know what I'm doing, but who cares? It works. Not only that, but it's just so satisfying to play this game. Every time I get to hear the words, nice shot. That's all the motivation I need, man. That's everything I need. But also, a realistic golf game is boring. The bar is in hell. There's lots of modes to choose from, and I definitely know what all of them do because I have played this game 100%. Trust me. Mario Baseball. Now, baseball on its own is already boring, okay? We knew that. And this game tries its best, but unfortunately is plagued by the fact that it is still baseball. It does the job. That's about all I can say. Compared to this, yeah, no, give me the chimp. The controls are excessive. The minigames are all right, I guess, but the atmosphere is much better than...
Two away.
Again, the bar is in hell here. If you like baseball, you'll love this. Also, find a better sport to play. Oh, I realized I forgot to talk about the football one, Super Mario Strikers. I love it. Yeah, whoa. Yeah.
That does it. I am now so inspired, I'm gonna play sports instead of video games. Let's try it. Y'all ready for this? You can't deny my athleticism. Whee! Oh God, someone call the hospital!
Usain Bolt has nothing on me. We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. This just in, breaking news, a New York resident, Mario Bros, was driving erratically and has caused the scene you see on your screen right now. This is an 18-car pileup on the freeway with more hitting the pile as we speak. Oh my God, Mario, you sent like 10 people to the hospital. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm the winner!
Oh no, no. Oh my God! Oh!
This is quite the contentious title, especially comparing it to Mario Kart Wii as one of the best Mario Karts. I dogged on that one in my last video, and I'm standing my ground, okay? This one is so much more fun to play than that garbage. Bruh. All I got was monkey ass. Actually, never mind. I'll take that. Okay, I'm somewhat kidding around because Mario Kart Wii does have some great tracks, and it's iconic in its own right. But Double Dash is the first Mario Kart to be, like, really good. The controls are amazing, really smooth, I might add. The soundtrack is incredible. The maps are very memorable with a ton of shortcuts that feel so rewarding when you finally just fucking get it to work. Get in there! Ah!
Mario, this cannot be difficult, okay? It's a freaking car! You press go, and you turn the wheel!
Look behind you, you a bitch! This game was a massive leap from its predecessor on the N64, and I believe that it set a precedent and a standard for Mario Kart that wasn't rivaled until Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came along. Now, moving on, the one Mario game I can't really talk about is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, and that's mainly just because it just doesn't really appeal to me personally. But the remake for the Switch looks absolutely incredible. I don't even care that I don't care for it. Take my money, Nintendo.
I love you, Nintendo!
Now, the only other Mario-ish game I haven't played yet is Wario World. Is it Wario? Wario? I genuinely didn't even realize this was a thing that existed until I started seriously collecting for the GameCube. So I gave it a shot. It's just okay. Wario is a wealth hoarding tax evader, which, valid, and for that reason he steals the evil black gem, which looks more like a chaos emerald, but whatever. The evil black gem does something, and just like that, we've landed in Crash Bandicoot 2. There's genuinely no explanation as to what you're doing, which in turn gives me no reason to care, so I was a little apprehensive. Maybe it's not my style of game, but I don't even really know what I'm doing. Now, I went into it with an open mind and I beat the first major area. Then, as I began playing the second area, I just got bored. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of potential here, with the little random puzzles being very reminiscent of the Mario 3D World box stages, or, I don't know, some tiny Zelda dungeons, but it all just feels half-baked and off-putting, like an off-brand box of cereal. Sure, it's probably the same ingredients, give or take a few things, but it just doesn't feel right. I want Lucky Charms, okay? You fraud! I don't feel comfortable around you. I don't know who these bosses are. I don't know what these enemies are. I don't know what theme it's going for. I feel like it's missing something, and it makes me sad because they clearly had a good idea of what it could have been. I'm sure for some people it's fun, but I personally couldn't get into it. But hey, they did try something new, and that is another win for the Cube. Now, another game that truly pushed the limits of its predecessor and created something legendary was
Super Smash Brothers Melee!
Super Smashing Your Bros was a fantastic game on the N64, and like a lot of other GameCube games, it took the original N64 game and made it so much better in nearly every single way. The character count, albeit pretty small compared to nowadays at least, was impressive for the time, and it more than doubled the original 12 characters with 25 of them. The controls are so much smoother and intricate this time around. It feels so zippy and snappy to move the characters around, like zoom, boing, pop. I love it. Now, Brawl did an amazing job succeeding Melee, but not really in the multiplayer part, mainly the single player. For example, I've heard nothing but good things about Subspace Emissary. I don't know how to say that. I just didn't grow up with Brawl, so I don't really have an opinion on it, but Melee compared to the original, night and day. Yeah, I'm biased. Sue me. Melee just captures so much charm, and it feels like they had nothing but fun making this game, and you can just feel the energy radiating from this game. I also have a lot of childhood memories with this one, so objectively, it's the best. You're so wrong and stupid, you obtuse idiot. I hope your channel gets terminated. I hope you live in pain for eternity, you biased piece of garbage. Ah! But in case you thought that this thing was just a Mario milking machine, you are far from correct, because this thing was and still is incredible for the Zelda franchise.
But all it does is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, that's it!
No, you are wrong, idiot. The GameCube could actually play every single mainline Zelda game up until Twilight Princess. Technically. Yes, even these. Yes, even that. Yeah. What? So on top of those two amazing games, you can also play the N64 titles as well as the original NES titles. And before you screech to me about how stupid I am, the magical Game Boy Player allows you to play any Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance game, which means every Zelda game released on the Game Boy, NES, and N64 is playable. The only exception is the original Link to the Past on the SNES, but you can just play the Game Boy port, so technically you can play all of the mainline Zelda games on the GameCube, except for those. We don't talk about those.
I just wonder what Gaten's up to. How about you suck my cock? Gee, golly!
I want boobies. Rope.
Oh my goodness!
I want to rock.
Die!
Now I'm gonna be honest, because I didn't grow up with them, I haven't really played Wind Waker Twilight Princess.
Oh, you fraud!
So out of the two, I decided to go with Wind Waker because I honestly really already liked the art style, and the idea of just sailing around and discovering a new world was genuinely interesting. Now I'm nowhere near done with this, so please don't consider this my final review of the game. I just wanted to give it a shot, play with it a little bit, and be honest about the fact that I really didn't know if this was a great game when I started making this video. All I knew is that everyone else loves this game. But after finally trying it,
I see it now.
to say it's incredibly charming, fun to play, and beginner friendly would be a massive understatement. But I won't go too much in depth because, again, I'm not really done with the game, so I can't technically say much more because I'd just be assuming the rest of the game. But honestly, given what I've experienced so far, I have no doubts the rest of the game is absolutely phenomenal. Also, being genuine here and touching on a video I've made in the past, when I played this game, I made the effort to just forget the internet and my phone existed, and I loved the feeling. I felt like I was actually transported back to my younger self, where I couldn't just look up how to solve a puzzle if it took up too much brain power, and when I wasn't checking my phone every 5 minutes out of boredom. And you can really just tap back into your childhood when you play these games for a little bit and really just let yourself feel immersed. Okay, back to jokes.
If I don't turn everything into a joke, it will destroy me.
Now, we could be here for hours doing mini reviews, but I say rapid fire, for real this time. Holy fuck! So I'm gonna be sharing a couple more brief thoughts on some other first-party games that came out, but we need to talk about the controller soon because this needs a discussion. Metroid Prime. I don't know what they did to this game, but it's the fucking gamer equivalent of cavemen discovering fire. Whatever they did to it, do not touch it. Do not get consumed. Captain Falcon game. F-Zero GX. Bring it back, you cowards. Pink blob riding a star. He's going real fast, and it's hard to keep up. It's really hard. He's going so fast. He's going so fast. It's basically like Mario Kart if you strip away almost everything that makes it Mario Kart. And on top of that, it's got a Fortnite Battle Royale mode, which is fucking awesome for the record. And whatever the hell this top ride mode is, I don't really know what it is, but I don't know how to call it. Whatever this is, it's fun, and I spent over an hour just doing this. So what is wrong with me, man? Robot, plug in electricity. He does things. It's pretty cool. I like this. I really enjoy this one. Also, this cost me like $200. Please subscribe. And of course, who could forget the Nintendo classic of Slave? I can't make this joke, but that's what it is. What else do you do? I'm sure there's a few more I missed, but these are just the first party titles, and that's not even all of them. That's fucking insane, dude. I just realized, like, a day before the upload, I forgot Animal Crossing. How did I do that? What? I know a lot of people say the GameCube had no third-party support, and not only are you wrong, but honestly, it didn't even need it, and it didn't need you, okay? The first-party Nintendo games alone are absolutely bonkers. I mean, just look at this lineup, oh my god. I feel like a prime target for getting robbed, because just everything here is so beautiful, especially my limited edition ultra rare copy of Chicken Little. I bet you're jealous. But now it's time to talk about the controller. The controller is by far one of my favorite things about the GameCube because it's truly unlike anything else even to this day. So let's take a closer look and inspect this piece of plastic that gets me going. Biggest reason, the main 4 buttons. I love these things. I want to make out with all of them. Look at the pathetic PS2 and Xbox. Weak and fragile. Everyone knows that, of course. But more importantly, these embarrassing excuses for buttons can't even be bothered to feel different. They all have one shape, the same exact circle. I want to beat the grugs who designed this with a club. What?
Can't you see it's brilliant technology? Lots of pixels, you can see the polygons. It's so good. The origin of what you see is from the rocks and grass and trees. Just the current animosity, the critical is where to be. If you're scared of what you see, just remember, it's your monkey.
Booka booka. Oh my god. I gotta stop watching the Croods, man.
Oh, okay, just one more time.
Now, unlike the PS2 and Xbox controllers, the GameCube controller actually fucking tried, and the buttons are all different in at least one way. The main button you'll press the most, A, is big and beautiful and green right in the center. Your thumb naturally rests on it, and you move your thumb around to hit the other buttons. The B button is small, red, and it pops out, making it another completely unique button. The X and the Y buttons are the exact same thing, just different rotations, but you specifically press Y with the tip of your thumb and X with the right side of your thumb.
Indubitably intelligent.
I know the way I said all of this makes it sound kinda dumb, but I promise you this works better than you think. In fact, you don't even need to think. But don't you worry, this controller has even more buttons. Wow, I can't believe it. I need to see these buttons. When you use the shoulder buttons, they slide down slowly and then they, oh, now that's good. This is used pretty interestingly in games to determine pressure, and I love it! The Z button does exist, and I'm really not sure why they didn't add the second one, but I mean, who cares at this point? Now, the left stick is by no means perfect, but compared to today's controllers, which drift within weeks of purchase, and the N64's pitiful, I don't even know what the shit is this, man? I don't even know what this is. This shit's been going strong for decades, and it's perfectly usable for 3D gaming. I'm sure all of my viewers born before 1990 are loving my opinions today. The C-Stick is great. I honestly don't really know why so many people have a problem with it. I genuinely don't have an issue with it. It does the job perfectly well, and if you're complaining, you're a bitch. And the D-pad kinda sucks. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. As much as I want to ignore every problem with the GameCube, there's no way I can get around this. I mean, come on. This is unreasonably tiny, and sometimes I just hit multiple directions without even trying. But fortunately, there aren't really any 2D or side-scroller games that need the D-pad to work, if at all. I mean, it's mostly used in menus for something specific and unimportant, so I'm neutral. Am I just dumb? Yes. Overall, I just love this thing. I love holding it. I love looking at it. I love pressing the buttons. I love you, GameCube controller. Thank you, Shigeru Miyamoto, for making this.
Actually, Austin, it's not wireless.
Wavebird, motherfucker! Woo! And so, that's the controller. And that's the games. And that is the GameCube. This was made with love. It was made with gaming in mind, and it was made to be a fun machine to play stupid fun Nintendo games. They tried some new ideas, for better or for worse, and they gave it their all, no matter the outcome. And at the end of the day, they focused on what mattered most. Fun. Maybe I do need to take off my rose-colored glasses, but behind all of my obnoxious humor and pretty bad sarcasm, I honestly do think that the GameCube was one of the best systems ever made. I just hope that if you didn't really care much about the GameCube before you watched this video, then maybe you can walk away with a bit more appreciation for what it brought to the table. Unlike the PS5, Wow, you made it to the end of the video, and I am personally very proud of you. That's right, me. I'm proud of you. Thank you for watching till the end of the video. If you like it, definitely subscribe if you're epic, and thank you to all of the supporters of this channel.
Thank you, Cookie.
Who give me money to do whatever the fuck that was.